Newsroom, the Omaha office of the FBI with an update on a large-scale law enforcement operation involving federal, local, and state officers.
One of the locations for the FBI operations today was a motel at 13th and I-80, which was investigated by the Bureau previously.
Now, earlier this year, we first alerted you to a different sex trafficking bust at the motel. Our Ron Johnson is digging back into that story. He's live in the newsroom with the latest on that case. Ron?
Yeah, Brian and Jacqueline, back in January, we reported about 6 people being arrested in connection to a sex trafficking investigation at the American near 13th and I-80. Later in March, those 6 people were formally charged in federal court. This is video from today's law enforcement activity outside of one of those motels. Now, according to court documents, in January, police learned about the possible trafficking at the American happening. An undercover officer went to the motel where he contacted 2 girls in a hallway. An affidavit says the girls were underage and taken to Project Harmony, where they both said that they were trafficked. Through those interviews, they also learned that the girls were brought to Omaha from Denver. Since the case has moved to federal court, there hasn't been a lot of movement, but we'll keep an eye on the proceedings for this, and we'll provide more updates on the investigation from today as we learn more. Live in the newsroom, Ron Johnson, First Alert 6.
All right, Ron, thank you.